Okay, today we're going to learn how to simplify algebraic fractions, but more complex cases. Step 1, remember, you should always try to factorize first. Form the factors, and then afterwards, simplify the fraction by dividing by a common factor. Before we begin, it's important to remember the three algebraic identities. First one is the a plus b whole thing square. Second case is the a minus b whole thing square. And the third one is the a plus b times a minus b, which will give you the difference of two squares. So sometimes we may need to use this to factorize. What is factorization? It's going from the right to the left. This is called factorize. Now we come to part A. How do I first factorize this? Let's try to factorize the top first. 3v squared minus 9v. I recognize that I can factorize out 3v. 3v is a common factor. Put a big bracket at the side and I write what's remaining. V minus 3. The denominator, the bottom is a v squared minus 9. And realize that 9 is a square number. 3 squared. This is the difference of two squares. Difference of two squares when I factorize is the a minus b, a plus b. So v plus 3, v minus 3. Now we will step 2. Now we will go to step 2. Simplify. Do you see a common factor? A common factor is v minus 3, v minus 3. So I can divide both by v minus 3. Answer. 3v over v plus 3. And this is the answer. Let's go to part B. Factorize the top, factorize the bottom. Now let's go to part B. Factorize the top and factorize the bottom. The top, actually you will need to use your box method. How I know is because there are 3 terms. 1, 2, and 3. So usually in this case we'll use box method. So I'll start with my diagonal with p squared and 12q squared. Consider factors of p. And then I'll consider factors of 12q squared. But to get the middle term, which is a negative 7pq, I need to put a negative sign in front of 4q and 3q. So in this case, does it work? It actually works because when I combine these two terms, it will give me my middle term. After factorizing the top, I'll factorize the denominator. And I realize I can take out common factor. Once we're done factorizing, cancel out the common factor. So simplify, divide both by p minus q, p minus q. Answer, p minus 3q over 5p. And this will be the answer. Question C, both numerator and denominator has 4 terms. When I see 4 terms, what method do I think of? I will think of grouping method. Let's group the first 2 terms and the second 2 terms, and then we will further simplify. For the numerator, first 2 terms I'll factorize out x because both have x. Last 2 terms I'll factorize out 2z because both have common factor of 2z. Let's do the same for the denominator. After I do the first grouping for the denominator, now let's further factorize. For the numerator, the top has a common factor, x minus 3y, x minus 3y. So I will factorize out x minus 3y, put a big bracket, and whatever is remaining, x plus 2z. Same thing for the bottom have a common factor of y minus 2z, y minus 2z. So I will take out. And whatever that I've left is in the next bracket. Now I can simplify, cancel out common factor. X minus 3y, x minus 3y. And lastly, write the final answer down. This will be the answer. The last question, question 2, I will do the same. Factorize the top and the bottom. One hint is for me, to let x be n squared. Why I'm doing so is because I'm not very familiar with power 4, power 2, power 4. So let's do this step and we will get this. Now, does this look familiar to us? It looks very simple to factorize it now. So we're going to factorize top and bottom. After factorize, simplify. Divide by common factor, x minus 3, x minus 3. And I'll get this answer. But am I done? Is the answer supposed to be in terms of x? I need to convert it back to n because I started out with n. Now I have to sub x and replace it with n squared. So my final answer is this, n squared minus 2 over n squared plus 3. Because the answer is in terms of n.